All right, we got Eric here. He's actually in the neighborhood. When we first moved in the neighborhood, Eric, you had this beautiful yellow Lamborghini, and now you have this beautiful Ferrari. I got to know, what made you switch?
Well, the Lamborghini was kind of my first foray into supercars, and there's a steep learning curve when you get into this kind of stuff. Things I didn't quite expect or anticipate. Car ran great, everything was beautiful on it, but as I started getting more into the detailing on the car, I discovered that there were some little pieces here and there that had dried out and become brittle, some parts that were holding in some components on the back of the car. You know, the back of the car is all honeycombed and it's got a lot of detail. And come to find out that in order to replace these little grommets and little stuff that was holding stuff together, I had to buy a whole new rear end.
Oh, wow.
And to the tune of $15,000 plus paint and labor and all that stuff. And I said, forget it. Might as well just kick my money into something else. And I figured if I was going to do it this summer, I might as well do it now. So got into a Ferrari.
Well, she is beautiful.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about her and kind of, walk us around and give us the tour.
So it's a 2012 Ferrari California. The California was Ferrari's GT Grand Tour. It's meant to drive at top speeds for, very extended periods of time. It's got a top speed, I think, of 193 miles an hour. It's a 4.3 liter, I think, V8. It's Ferrari's first front-mounted mid-engine car, and it's also Ferrari's, I think it's the first time that they put a V8 in the front of a car as well. Let me think, what else? It's got, I want to say about 480 some odd horsepower. Goes 0 to 60 in somewhere between 3.6 and 4 seconds. A lot of fun, rear wheel drive. It's got carbon ceramic brakes, Brembo calipers. Gosh, what else do you want to know? It's one of Ferrari's, I think it is their first convertible hardtop, which is, and also their first dual clutch transmission, which is a little step up from the Formula One transmission that they were using in the F430s and other cars that preceded this one.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit, like, when you first started getting into cars and the supercars, how old were you?
So I would say when I got out of law school, I got my first sports car, which was a 2004 BMW Z4. Then I upgraded to a Z4M, and then I upgraded to a Porsche Boxster S, and then I upgraded into a Lotus Elise, and then I upgraded into a Lamborghini, and then into the Ferrari.
Oh, that's beautiful. So if you had to just pick one car, whether you've owned it or not, only one car,
Sure.
What would you pick?
Honestly, I would pick that Lotus Elise again. That is a thrilling car to drive. It's super nimble, it's super fast. It doesn't have the kind of torque and horsepower that you see in a car like this, but on a short track with a lot of turns, it can give this thing a run for its money. It's got a Toyota engine in it, super cheap and easy to repair, and very minimalist, and kind of like I like the philosophy of Lotus cars in general.
Awesome. And then one last question. If you have any crazy or just funny kind of car stories, feel free to share, whether it's, getting a little too fast near a police officer or anything
Sure.
that you got.
Yeah, so you caught me off guard with this one. I would say that with this one, I haven't had it that long, so I haven't heard any strange stories yet. But with the Lotus, I would get pulled over regularly just to ask what the car was. A lot of police officers didn't know what it was. And when I actually, this is a horrible thing to say, when I switched into the Lamborghini, I told the salesman, a lot of people didn't understand what the Lotus was. He goes, well, even the drunkest person in the bar knows what this Lamborghini is. It's a pretty easy car to spot. That Lamborghini was a really cool car too. I mean, it was 500 horsepower, all-wheel drive, and it just cooked. But one of the things I like about a Ferrari a lot more than the Lamborghini is there's a lot more play in the rear end. The car will get away from you a little bit, but as long as you don't overcorrect, it just keeps going straight.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you showing it to us. She is beautiful.